Denver Broncos Mile High View. Denver Broncos Hard Liquor Broncos on the BitChute channel. I'll get that right one of these days. No commercials, no bullshit. And we have a pregame on the Indianapolis Colts. If you want to know the best pregame show, you're at it right now. Bar none, hands down. Although, because I'll tell you what, I did watch a lot of Colts film, and I've listened to some of their press conferences. They're talking on their side, their slow starts, and I have, and I'll get into it. I have a remedy for the Indianapolis Colts slow starts. They're also bemoaning their running game, and I got something to say about that too. If you are a Colts fan, you may want to hear this. Coming from the Broncos side of the football field, but I'm going to yield to you, and you can give me some of your assessment on this, what you see with this game.
So I watched the All-22 against the Tennessee Titans last week. That's what I'm basing my criteria on. So what I saw in that game is I'll talk about the Colts defensively, and then I will get into the Colts offensively. If that's what, okay. So the Colts defensively, they're a very fast unit. They're like Seattle in a way where they're very, very fast. They're very fast at coming up to the ball carrier and tackling. They're a very good tackling unit. They're a very solid tackling unit. They are way better than the Denver Broncos in that aspect. Number one. Number two, their front seven is a very athletic unit. They don't have a lot of big guys in the interior. They're more of an athletic bunch. They got Yannick Ngakoue from the Raiders. They got Kwity Paye from Michigan. They got DeForest Buckner from the 49ers, who I believe was the best on that defensive front for San Francisco. And look what's happened since he's been gone in that, inserted in the Colts lineup. Their linebackers, they're a very fast unit. The linebackers for the Colts, they are very athletic sideline to sideline. They got a guy in Darius Leonard and Bobby Ozariki, who played for Stanford. They're a very good 1-2 punch. They run a 4-3 defense. They brought over Gus Bradley from the Raiders last year, who runs that Seattle type system. So they're going to see, and maybe that is a little bit of an edge to what the Denver Broncos, because they did play Pete Carroll, and Russell Wilson has played against that type of system before in Seattle. So maybe Russell Wilson can give the Broncos offense a little bit of pointers of what to do against this defense. Gus Bradley likes to run a lot of two high safety looks. He likes to play a lot of off coverage. He doesn't like to play a lot of man-to-man. They got Stephon Gilmore from the Panthers last year, who hasn't been the same player for a few years now. So their defense, I think the defense is their best unit on the teams. Also special teams, they have a very good special teams too. But I think their defense mainly is their best unit on the team, is their Colts defense. Did you want to talk about the Colts defense?
What's that?
You want to talk about the Colts defense, and we'll just go to the offense?
I will say this. I think that from what I saw in the film, I believe that this defense is a step up from the defense they just played with the Raiders. That's my take.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe they're a step up from that.
I agree. When you were watching the film, what I noticed too is they like to run a lot of multiple fronts. And what do I mean by multiple fronts? They like to be very creative in how they use their stunt blitz packages. They like to do a lot of stunt blitzes. They like to send a linebacker late, safety late. They like to come, they like the Cam Chancellor when Seattle used him in that, box safety role. Kwity Paye and Yannick Ngakoue are no scrubs on the edge. But I don't know if DeForest Buckner played. I think he was limited because he had an injury. But if he's going to play in this game, I think that's going to be a big problem for guys like Cushenberry, Reisner, and Graham Glasgow. I think that's going to be a big mismatch and they also got a guy named Jarrett too. He played for Alabama or South Alabama. He's a very good he likes to eat up a lot of guards. He likes to eat up 2 players to force Buckner to get his one-on-ones against guards and centers.
Okay. That's their defense. So let's talk about the Broncos attacking the defense. I think, again, I think what we should, then we'll get into their offense. I think we should talk about, this is a good time to talk about what the Broncos screwed up on last week with the Raiders, getting away from what was working. That seems to be an NFL thing, though. It's not, I don't think the Broncos necessarily have a monopoly on that one.
I agree.
But the Broncos in the first half, they had those quick passes, those quick throws. It was keeping Russell Wilson's from having to scramble. It was keeping Russell Wilson. And again, I don't know why people. Why do I listen to? We did a video before this. We had to call out the Denver Broncos organization for their mishandling and mismanagement. You can go see that. But anyway, they wanted to load up and go downfield, and it was making. I'm not saying they shouldn't go downfield once in a while, but set it up. They need to, I think they need a balanced attack against this defense. And I don't think they should get away from the quick passes. I think they should get more into those and set up. Yes, you can set up a home run ball, but let's not make this home run ball your number one priority. Go ahead.
No, I thought you brought up something interesting as a balanced attack offensively. The one thing that the Indianapolis Colts struggle with defensively is those stretch run plays when they go into certain gaps against the right guard and right tackle, when they go in that gap there. And if the Denver Broncos want to use Saubert and Andrew Beck as blockers, I think that can have an effect on the Colts defense, because watching the Titans game, they were running a lot of stretch plays to the left and right of that Colts defense. They're very, very light on the edge per se with Pay and Yannick Ngakoue. They're not great run defenders. They cannot set the edge. They're mostly, pass rushers. So
who on the Broncos running backs? Who's great at those stretch running plays? Who excelled? Mike Boone. That's the guy that you want to have. Mike Boone, the guy who's getting shit on right now. You do not want. Who did they pick up again?
Latavius Murray, who's not in between the tackles runner.
Yeah, they're not going to play him this week anyway, but that is right up Boone's alley. That's the kind of running that he's really excels at.
Yes, he is very good. He's like a poor man's version of Philip Lindsay. And the reason I say that is he has great vision when you send him on the edges. And what do I mean by that? When he sees an opening starting the crease open on those edges and those certain gap assignments there, he can plant his foot and go. He is very good at those stretch run plays. And also I want to bring up, like you said, offensively for the Denver Broncos, the Indianapolis Colts like to run a lot of off coverage. And I think that can be also an effect for the Colts defense if the Denver Broncos do it correctly. They can do a lot of slant plays in the middle of that defense because the corners are playing so off. You can use that to invade. You can use a lot of hitch routes because they're playing off. You can do a lot of that. You don't need to go do the home run ball and let Russ cook that everybody wants. That's going to get Russell Wilson and that offense in trouble. We've seen that when they've gone to that in the fourth quarter in that second half last week. That got them in trouble.
Well, my definition of let Russell cook is those shorter passes spreading the ball out.
Correct.
Number one. To me, that's let Russell cook. Because with cooking, there's a recipe and you have different ingredients. It's not just one ingredient. If Russell is cooking one ingredient, nobody wants to eat it. But if you put in a lot of ingredients, which is most of those short and intermediate passes, plus you mix it up with that stretch running play, this could be just one of the Broncos' best games if they could stick to something. If the Broncos decide they're going to do home run balls, guess what? They're going to be playing right into the Indianapolis Colts' hands and another team's hands yet again. Would you agree with that?
Yes, but I don't trust this Broncos. I don't trust this Broncos organization to do the
To
right
get
thing.
it right.
Yeah,
To get
no, because I've been
to
saying that
stick
for
with it. To stick with something.
correct.
Something that works, right?
Correct. Yes, correct.
You keep saying it, dude, and it's like, no. Oh
Oh,
God.
I said it last week. I said they're going to abandon what works, and look what happened. They abandoned it. I said it the week before, and the week before. Just like
I just want to say this to Indianapolis Colts fans. This team is lucky to not be 0-4. I mean, really lucky to be 0-4. And I cannot see the Indianapolis Colts thinking they can't win this game. I'll just say it right out. I'll just be honest, you know. All right. Anything else on Broncos offense needs to be
nope,
said?
nope. That's it for me.
All right. I was thinking tight ends, like we talked about that. Yeah, utilize them a bit. No home run balls. This shouldn't be a home run ball fest. I don't have anything else. Now we can go with the Indianapolis offense. Take it away.
Their offensive line hasn't been the same, like this man has said, since that Patriots offensive line coach has left that building. Quentin Nelson looks a lot worse this year than he has looked in the past few years. He's not great in pass protection. He really struggles with those athletic defensive fronts. He really struggles with those athletic defensive three tech in a 3-4 defensive lineman. So maybe Draymond Jones does have an okay game if they line him up, because Quentin Nelson does struggle with that. But Draymond Jones, in my opinion, isn't like a Jeffrey Simmons with the Titans. Jeffrey Simmons is in a different league than even DJ Jones and Draymond Jones combined. I mean, that dude is a wrecking ball in that middle. That he is a top 3 defensive interior lineman in the league. He's that good. I wanted him from Mississippi State. I said redshirt him because he had an injury, but you can't have that in Denver.
No.
Bradley Chubb, I think, could have a good game if they line him up against that left tackle Pryor. I think he is a replacement level player. Browning, I believe they're going to play Browning because Gregory's hurt. What, $70 million for a guy that's in the hot tub again? Baron Browning against Braden Smith, I don't think would have the same success as if they both played on that left side, but they can't. So I would put Bradley Chubb on the left tackle and just Baron Browning. I mean, wish him luck against Braden Smith. I mean, Braden Smith is a top 8 right tackle in this league. He's from Auburn. He's a very good player. Ryan Kelly's still there. But I think the loss of their left tackle in that right guard, Glazowski, who I wanted, who went to New York, has been a major blow to them on the offensive line. The offensive line hasn't been the same. Their running game, you could disagree or agree on this. I think they stick more to their running game than their passing game, and here's why. When I was watching the game last week, of course you're going to disagree. Yeah. The reason I say that is because, number one, when you have Taylor going, the Taylor running back from Wisconsin, who I watched in the Big Ten because I watch Big Ten football, when you have a good offensive line from him, just like any other running back in the league and quarterback, whatever, he can produce. But the problem is with the Colts, I don't think they're creative enough in their running game to springboard Jonathan Taylor. I think that they're very basic in their running game. They just go left, right, up the middle. They don't pull. They don't do any of that. They just are very basic in their running techniques. Offensively, in the passing game, when Matt Ryan has time to throw the ball, just like any other quarterback in the league, he can hit the throws. He is your.
Did you see Tom Brady? Tom Brady? He looked
exactly.
pretty pedestrian.
Yeah, he did.
That would be doing a favor for him. His
Yeah,
offensive line.
And then you see the guy on the other side with that offensive line who looked a lot better than Brady in that game. So I'm just trying to, I know proves our point more. Proves our. I know.
Who would think? That's what that Philadelphia Eagle guy was saying. He's like, yeah, we got the offensive line, and now Wentz, he looks, yeah, I said, bingo, poof, yeah, wow,
exactly.
Yeah, imagine.
Exactly. So I'll finish up and then I'll let you. I'm sorry. Matt Ryan is your prototypical pocket passer. he's like Derek Carr, but he doesn't have the same athleticism as Derek Carr. He's more of he's basically an older man's version of Derek Carr, in my opinion. He doesn't have the arm. He doesn't have a strong arm, but Matt Ryan does attack the middle of the field, and I saw that against the Tennessee Titans. And again, that is the weakness, and that is what they need to do in this game. Do exactly what the Raiders were doing to the Colts or to the Tennessee Titans. Attack the middle of the field, and they got a Pittman, the receiver. I don't think their receiving core is anything special. The reason I say that is because I don't think they have the separation ability outside of one player, Pittman. They like to use a lot of wheel routes on the sideline. I've noticed that against the Titans. They like to do those wheel routes. Their tight ends, Jelani Woods from Virginia, had a very good game last week against the Titans. Jelani Woods, he was the second tight end taken behind Trey McBride. So Greg Dulcich was the third tight end taken in this draft. So I wanted Jelani Woods or Trey McBride or Isaiah Likely. So those were my tight ends in this draft. But we got Greg Dulcich, who hasn't even played it down, but he's going to be a phenomenal Hall of Fame tight end, right?
Get the gold jacket ready. Get the gold jacket ready.
But I've noticed this with the Colts is they like to run a lot of 2 tight end sets. They like to motion their tight ends left and right on the line of scrimmage, and they also use their tight ends in the red zone. But the one guy to keep an eye on in this game is Pittman. Pittman is the go-to receiver for Matt Ryan. And Pittman, I think, could cause some issues for a guy like Ronald Darby because of his size. And also, he could also cause some issues with a guy like Patrick Surtain, who struggles with those underneath short routes that the Colts like to do on the sideline as well. So just keep an eye out on that. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to bring this up because I wanted to say this in our last video. In our last video, we were talking about all the mismanaged moves that the Broncos had versus the people we wanted. Okay, this is very important for this discussion. I didn't bring up how crucial DJ Jones has been to the Denver Broncos. One of the most underappreciated, unsung heroes of the Denver Broncos' success stopping the run. DJ Jones is the guy we wanted. We know that if there was better help, it would be a my God, but we don't get my God. We got, oh my God, in Bronco country. So with that said, I went to the press conference for the Colts involving getting ready for the Denver Broncos, and they were bemoaning how they, like you, maybe because of the things you were talking about, they haven't been able to really get their running game going. I will say this to the Indianapolis Colts fans and the organization. If you want to be successful in this game, I wouldn't try to get your running game going with the Denver Broncos. That is their strength. What I would do to get your running game going, if you want to talk about getting your running game going, is do exactly what we're saying Russell Wilson needs to do. Matt Ryan needs to get rid of the ball quick. And with this team, the Denver Broncos, you can do that. You can do that with success. You can get rid of the ball quick before you can get him into trouble. You need to get the ball spread around, and you need to get it out of the hand quick. If you're the Indianapolis Colts, if you do that, you can springboard your running game. You can get your running game going that way. If you choose not to do that, you will lose this game. I guarantee you. If you think that you're going to go and we're going to get this running game established, it is not going to happen that way. You can get your running game established if you spread the ball out and then hit them with the run. Then hit them with the run. Then, at the right time. You can win this game. You could keep Russell Wilson off the field because I know watching Matt Ryan, he can get rid of the ball quick. He can. And that's what they need to do. Your offensive line isn't great. So you're facing a team that's really not good in the linebacking when it comes to the passing game. The DB who covers the Millie, K. Williams, is a step behind. You can use that to your advantage. You can use certain to a certain degree to your advantage. The safeties for the Denver Broncos have been a nice surprise since Stern's been in there. So you may want to really think about that a little bit. But stick with those quick passes, short third downs. run maybe on second down. But I would really make this a passing game. I would distribute the ball all over the place, short, quick, and use that running game, maybe, as you said, a little bit more creatively. And I think you could win this game. If you think you're just going to come in here and try to establish the run, I think it's a recipe for disaster. But I will say this: every team so far the Broncos have played have just, when they do something that works, they get away from it. So it would not surprise me if the Indianapolis Colts would do something that works and they would get away from it, because everybody else seems to want to do that. So that would bode well for the Denver Broncos. So that's my offensive game plan for the Colts. Defensively for the Broncos, DJ Jones, get ready for the run if that's their game plan, and then just go from there. But you're vulnerable in the middle. You're very vulnerable in the middle of the field. Go ahead, give me your 2 cents.
You were talking about Kwan Williams, in the middle. They also, and if you watch the Titans all 22 when they played the Colts last week, they like to put Pittman in the slot too. They're very creative on how they use him. So it wouldn't surprise me if they put Pittman on Kwan Williams to start this game, because they do like to use him in the slot. So just to talk about that point. Broncos defensively, nothing really sticks out to me outside of DJ Jones and Bradley Chubb to some degree. I mean, everybody wants to shit on Bradley Chubb, but at least he hasn't been hurt this year. I mean, the guy that you paid money to, the guy that you paid all of this money to, $70 million, and you got a guy, I know, and then you got a guy in Bradley Chubb who gets shit on because of his injury-prone issues, has actually been healthy so far this season. So, yeah. So Broncos defensively, the safeties have been a very nice surprise, because, I mean, it doesn't need to look worse when you have Justin Simmons out there. I mean, Justin Simmons was such a liability out there. He was so bad. And then you see, I don't even have to even watch. Like, I don't even hear much about the safeties getting beat anymore, like fucking Simmons when he was back there. I mean, the back end has been so quiet, and that's a good thing. Thank you. Thank you, Chad Stearns and Kareem Jackson. They actually work really well together.
They do. They do. Well, they actually work together. Simmons is like off somewhere, like hiding.
Yep.
I do not want to. Can you imagine if they bring him back for the Kansas City game? Man, they will attack him relentlessly. Kansas City, but that's different. That's another day.
But go ahead.
I wanted to say that Darby will probably help Kwan Williams out in this game. He'll probably try to help, being on Pittman is my guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's my guess. Also, I wanted to say that the difference between Gregory and Chubb too, they're not paying Chubb $70 million. So
exactly,
that's a huge difference.
Exactly.
What a bad, horrible signing that was. I mean, just
prototypical.
Yeah, typical Broncos mismanagement.
Wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah, let's find another has-been. There's an injury prone. Come on, with that running back, I think they should pay him at least $25 million. What do you think?
Oh, Latavius Murray?
Yeah, he should get $25 million just for being a has-been and a retread.
Yeah, he should get Derrick Henry money. He should get Derrick Henry money. I mean, we got to represent every Bronco player, and we got to represent, but we can throw Mike Boone under the bus. That's what we.
Sure, because we're two-faced, right?
Yep.
What a bunch of losers. Anyway.
Yeah, they are.
Anyway. So
that's it for me.
So those are the keys, I guess you could say, for the game that for both teams. We'll see if both teams can't help getting away from what works. That's the new trick of the NFL.
I think this is going to be a close game. I do.
Let me ask you this: at Kansas City, Tampa, did Kansas City get away from what worked?
No.
No, they didn't. Well, I'll be. You can't make it up.
You can't make it up. Nope.
All right. So it ought to be. This is a Thursday night game. You'll have to give me the play-by-play.
Oh, great. Oh, wonderful.
And then let's see. I won't even be able to watch it until Sunday.
Oh, because you work for a living and don't get paid for this?
I get paid for this. I actually have
Oh.
to work for a living.
Yeah.
Sometimes Sunday because I get in trouble for not, spending time.
Yeah.
Every second.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. All right. Anything else?
Nope. That's it for me.
Me too. Well, so I guess maybe Sunday we can have our post. Oh, will you be able to do it Sunday? You work, so.
Yeah, I work. I work.
Well, I'll maybe one of the nights, maybe Thursday night. Of course, I'll be in trouble for doing it. Maybe Thursday night, I can.
Well, I don't want you to get.
You're off on Thursday, right? Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll try to get away. I'll try to get away to get that taken care of.
I just want to bring this before we.
Thursday night probably will be good for me.
Okay. I just want to say.
It'll be late.
Of course. Damn it. I just got to say this before we sign off. I just find it funny that there's another platform out there that's copies what we say, but they do it in a different way. That's
the best compliment that they could give you.
Well, now
they
got to get involved. It's just it's kind of funny, but it's also pathetic. But whatever.
Well, I encourage it. I encourage people to do stuff. That's fine.
It's to sell the turd.
That's what they're doing, I guess. But like I said, there's a shelf life to that. Our subscriptions went down because all those people were going to tell us how wrong we were.
How wrong we are, right?
Then it starts going up because and now it also is going up because there's listeners that are sick of hearing the turd polishing and being told what kind of a fan to be, and they want to actually hear real talk, real football. They want to hear the cold hard facts.
The mark of a good gangbanger is they're needy. They're needy for attention.
I guess.
So just remember that, folks. The mark of a good gangbanger is they're needy for attention, and when they're in prison, they're needy.
No, self-absorbed? You mean they're self-absorbed?
That's the mark of a good gangbanger.
Yeah. Okay. All right. On that note, we'll go.
All right.
Give us that gangbanger wisdom. Side on. All right. I'll see you.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.